Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Gargoyles episode review. Here we are finishing up Enter Macbeth. Macbeth re-enters. We finally learn why Macbeth kidnapped Lexington, Bronx, and Brooklyn. It's also time for a change of address for most of our characters. The theme of home runs strong in this one. Need to catch up? Read part 1 of Enter Macbeth, or go ahead and watch it. 2020 moment / according to Greg. We need to backtrack a second. On November 15th, 1994, Xanatos began the concrete phase of his plan to clone Goliath. A Steel Clan robot attacks Goliath, obtaining a sample of DNA. I love how Xanatos carries out his plans despite being in jail. If Elisa thought incarceration would stop him, she underestimated him as much as he underestimated her and the Gargs. Timmy's in the basement, in a cage. Look, it's every dog I've ever owned running right down the middle of the road. Bronx heads off on his Lassie mission, right down the middle of the street. How does he know where to go? Macbeth's place is far from the city. It's not like he can sniff his way back, either. Also, Bronx made great time. Goliath sees him. Somehow, in the entire city, he sees him. But maybe there was a bunch of crashing cars. I don't know. And lands in the middle of the street, too. Wasn't he just all concerned about letting people know about the clan? Or not letting them know? Well, I'm sure this wasn't on camera or anything. It's not like at least 100 people saw it. Or that he could have left giant claw marks and vehicle damage behind. I get the feeling NYC will soon be like Gotham. Everyone knows weird stuff happens and they accept it. Does Xanatos Enterprises ever do damage control? Does it ever buy off or spin the media? There's Goliath landing to collect Bronx. Secrecy, low profile, ain't nobody got time for that. I dare do all that may become a man. Coffee, the drink of villains. There's Macbeth drinking coffee and watching his security footage. Macbeth enjoys coffee as he watches Goliath arrive via CCTV. He's been waiting for the big guy. What's Macbeth's plan? Is he a big game hunter? Maybe Goliath pissed him off somehow and Macbeth wants revenge. We'll see. You are gonna have to replace that door anyway. There's Bronx and Goliath exploding back through the door. Could have just pushed it open, but I guess entry matters. Style. Goliath bursts in, but draws up short when Macbeth draws a pistol. If Macbeth wants a trophy, now's the time. Instead, he runs off. He likes to play. He, like the pack, is wanting to have a good time first. Doesn't anyone in this show know how you're not supposed to play with your food? Macbeth with his gun. Just shoot him now. Why does everybody have to make things complicated? Owen's the only one who gets to the point. Macbeth leads Goliath down a gauntlet of fortified halls, steel doors, electrified portcullises, and brick walls. Either Macbeth plans for everything, or he's been working on this for a while. Of course, I'd love to have a setup like this if I was rich and had a mansion. What, no spikes or walls closing in? It ends in a hall of mirrors. It's actually a neat idea. The enemy sees you all around, but you're not there. You can taunt him at your leisure. Macbeth laughs when Goliath asks why he wants the clan. They're just pawns. He wants the queen. Goliath can't understand who that might be. Demona. Goliath is shocked. Macbeth knows her. No doubt Brooklyn filled Goliath in about Demona living for hundreds of years, so it's not hard to imagine her running into a lot of people. After all, Xanatos and Owen were on good terms with her. That's actually a pretty good scene. You got Macbeth in a couple windows and then glass falling through a trapdoor. It's a fun house, for Macbeth anyway. Macbeth replies with the words that will rock Goliath's world. Know her. I named her. Huh? Like, was it recently? The clan just got names 2 months ago, right? Why does he want Demona anyway? I'm assuming they're not on good terms, if this is how he has to contact her. If they were friends, he could just give her a call rather than sneaking into a jail, cutting a deal with Xanatos, fighting the clan, kidnapping 3 members, and fighting Goliath. Sorry. I don't know. Pro tip, use a mag light. There he is with a torch in his hand. Yep, not really the best way to light up a room. Trapdoor opens, dumping Goliath into the dungeon basement. There's even an authentic torture device. Goliath informs him Demona is the clan's enemy. Apparently Macbeth isn't up on current events. Okay, so he somehow knows all about the Gargoyles, but he doesn't know that they're not on good terms with Demona. Okay. He might have even asked Xanatos about that. I don't think he used his intel very well. Yet do I fear thy nature. This next part confuses me. Macbeth loses it. He's been keeping Goliath right where he wants him this whole time, but when he hears Demona isn't going to come by, he acts like Goliath has stolen his superpower. Now he's running through his own home, trying to escape Goliath. Why? Just finish him off, or do whatever it was you were going to do when he was still a pawn. Nothing really has changed. I got nothing. 1 second Macbeth is large and in charge, and next he's on the defensive. There he is, trying to out-brute strength Goliath, which is not a good tactic. A brazier gets knocked over during the scuffle, setting the solid stone floor alight. What? Did they seal the grout with gasoline? Are the rocks foam? Like in Disney World? The chase leads to the armory, which I'm totally not jealous of. No. All the weapons to choose, Macbeth goes for a broadsword. Granted, the firearms are likely unloaded. He knows how to handle the blade. It's a weapon he's fond of, obviously. Does the Eyrie have an armory? It must. I need to see it. Goliath uses a mace. Fitting. And there they're crossing weapons. Combustibles? Fire don't need no stinking combustibles, as it's literally just rolling around along the ground until it gets to something you can burn upward on. It just makes no sense. I mean, you use stone in your fireplace because it doesn't burn. Mace beats sword. Goliath grabs Macbeth by the coat, but Macbeth is smart. He drops out and flees. The mansion goes up in flames. I guess he didn't have a sprinkler system or anything, but the gargoyles are safe. Macbeth escapes in his aircraft. Like kindling. Anybody bring a fire extinguisher? Yeah, or fire insurance, I hope? Well, that didn't go nearly to plan for Macbeth. He wanted Demona, but got more than he bargained for when Goliath showed up. Now the mansion's in flames, along with his priceless collection of art. Good job, Goliath, wrecking a collection of culture and historical pieces. Now we see if Macbeth has a vengeful nature like Demona, or if he's wise like Xanatos and will move on with his life. What's done is done. Payback for that pimp slap earlier? There, Goliath is yelling in Elisa's face. Goliath and the others fly back. Hudson, Broadway, and Elisa flag him down from another rooftop. Goliath receives the news that they don't live at the Eyrie building anymore. Yep, change of address is already in the post office. It's official. The clan talks sense into Goliath. Home is where the heart is, or in this case, where the clan is. They're together, and that's what matters. It's a good point, one we often forget and are longing for home. The more you're away from home, the more you realize what home really is. Goliath has to have the last word. He roars off to hassle Owen one more time. Take a good look. You don't live there anymore. Owen is taking his sweet time cleaning up the glass from the Grimorum case. Apparently housekeeping had the night off. Goliath makes a grand opening, bursting in with wings out and rage face on. It's a good camera angle, too. It's actually from Owen's perspective, so he's looking up. Doing this in front of Owen is one notch above doing it in front of an empty room. The security chief doesn't break sweep as Goliath delivers the bad loser speech. Tell your master we're leaving, but we'll be back. Drama. Owen with the look reserved for stupidity so unbelievable it leaves you open-mouthed. I mean, did Goliath really expect him to be impressed? Obviously, Macbeth won, or at least Xanatos won, in that the gargoyles are out of the castle, which is why he hired Macbeth in the first place. 2020 moment. Hunter's Moon will see the return indeed, but it will be the most unlikely person who invites and welcomes them home. David Xanatos. Alright, really, first off, Xanatos isn't Owen's master. You've lived here how long and haven't figured out how employment works in the 1990s, Goliath? Second, you will not be back. You really think you could fall asleep on his castle battlements? No. Owen manages not to laugh or even come up with anything more sarcastic than, I'll deliver your message. I'm sure he and David had a good chuckle over said message. Tag time! January 4th, 1995. Nothing like being home. Xanatos is home. He's all smiles. Okay, smirks. Owen's pleased too. After welcoming the boss back, he shows the vid of Macbeth taking on the entire clan. Xanatos is impressed. They have, quote, a new player in the game. That's what this is to him, a diversion. It's a pro game, though. He'll profit from it, make no mistake. I'm sure he's pretty impressed about how Macbeth handled himself, and Macbeth didn't just take the easy route and load up the gargoyles during the day. The implications of Macbeth, much less his story, will wait. Right now, Xanatos is glad to be home sweet home. While I haven't been forcibly removed from my home, I have spent months away at work. There's nothing like coming home after many a day away. All your stuff is there, right where you want it. You can kick back or get to work as you like. It's your home, your castle, literally for Xanatos. You can make your home anywhere, but having your own space is priceless. I love how the writers include this homecoming scene. It helps us understand Xanatos. It humanizes him. So often antagonists and villains are presented with only one dimension. We don't know what real non-antagonist related interests they have. They seem flat because we don't know what makes them smile or warms their heart or what they long for. Other than, the surface things like revenge or world destruction. What does Xanatos consider makes a home? I assume home is where the power and freedom are. He has control here. People know and respect him. He can execute his plans with ease, as all his resources are here. Basically, he can do whatever he wants. He can also eat whatever he wants, too. 2020 moment, / according to Greg. On the afternoon of the 4th, David goes to Genutech to check on the status of his pet project. Ha, nice pun, eh? Daylog is coming along nicely. Also, he just hits the ground running, does David Xanatos. Bland headcanon. David made numerous contacts while in jail, furthering his influence in ways previously unavailable to him. While Elisa meant the incarceration for punishment, he turned it into an asset. All is right in the world again for House Xanatos. So we see the sun shining upon the castle. Time for a change. Nice segue, where we have the top of the clock tower. At the clock tower, the clan's new home, the Gargs check out their options. They'll have to get furnishings. They'll also need a TV and cable. I don't know how they're going to run cable up there. Elisa will figure it out. It's definitely a downgrade from the castle, but that's what you get when you tangle with the castle's legal owner. We're going to be seeing a lot of this place. It's actually a pretty good picture there. We've got a beautiful sunset there. I don't know how Elisa's going to afford to feed all these monsters, though. I mean, they're going to eat her out of house and home. Final thoughts. Macbeth is older, but in peak physical shape. He's also wealthy, with a healthy interest in history. As for combat skills, he's wicked good. He's gutsy enough to take on a whole clan of gargoyles, alone, too. Yet, he's always polite and respectful toward people. While he might put you in the dirt, you'll understand why, and you'll probably feel obligated to say thank you and sir afterward. I'm looking forward to more episodes with him. There's a lot to explore with this antagonist. And Xanatos is home. Not that being in jail stopped any of his plans, but now he can take the hands-on role he loves so much. Nothing better than an antagonist or villain who leads from the front. Brains over brawn. It'll be interesting to see how he's changed since October of '94. Ooh, new home for the Gargs. It was a bit of irony that in this ep, an antagonist loses his home, and so do the protags. In the tag ending, a main antagonist regains his rightful home, and the protags find a new home. How often do you see that in Western animated series? That symmetry. Living in the clock tower will come with its own set of challenges. It's going to take a lot of getting used to. It's going to be dangerous, too, living that close to a population that they need to stay hidden from. Stay tuned for the next ep, one of my all-time favorites. Do you have the edge? What did you think of this episode? What did you think about Macbeth? Were you surprised to see the protags move? Comment, either here or on the actual site. So like, subscribe, share, comment, do all the things. Thank you so much for watching.